And sometimes we have another problem. They shy to accept presents from men, and they really need some time to get used to the fact that men can give her presents.
So a couple of weeks back, a marriage agency owner or matchmaking broker sent me a video from a rival. Don't you just love how they like to dox each other in? And in this video, the, matchmaking service, they review or they react to one of my videos, my, infamous video at this stage, 5 reasons never to date a Ukrainian girl. As part of a series, of course. I made a couple of them. I'm going to link those up in a card if you haven't seen all of them already. Also down below in the description. Go and take a click after you've watched this video, of course. And I think there are some really interesting points that I can educate you a little bit with in this video, because you're going to see just how revealing a lot of their reaction to my video, where I give you the honest, hardcore advice about the problems and issues the foreign guys face when they come to Ukraine to try and date beautiful Ukrainian women. And you're going to see the reaction, and there's a little bit of an undertone that's very, very revealing. So let's go, and I'm going to just react to just a couple of clips in their video, and you're going to see what I mean.
One of my friends, he was in Kiev and he matched with her on Tinder. They agreed to meet at a restaurant in the center, and she said suddenly, just when they're going to meet, "Oh, 2 of my girlfriends are with me, is that okay?" And he went along with it, he acquiesced, and he said, "Yeah, sure." And so that's 3 people on a date, which is just weird, let's be honest about it. Why bring 2 girlfriends? So anyways, they had dinner, and he paid the bill because this is Ukraine, and he has to pay the entire tab. That's just the way the culture works. Then they went to another place across the street, which is a very expensive and famous bar in Kiev, and he told me that when, maybe 10 minutes later, all this sushi just appeared on the table. And these girls had already eaten, remember? So they just ordered, and he didn't speak Russian, so he didn't realize that's what they're ordering. What do you think my friend did in this situation? Do you think he got angry? No, there's a better way. He just looked at his phone, picked up and said, "Girl, sorry, I have to take a business call. It's very noisy here. I'll just be back in a minute. I'm going to take it outside." He never came back.
He is a real gentleman. It's nothing to say here, a real gentleman. And it's funny how a man is always a victim in such situation. Why nobody's saying that he agreed to meet with the first girl, he was open to meet her friends, and of course he was taken to the second bar not under the weapon.
This is the thing. Just because a guy invites you out on a date does not mean he's legally adopted you, and that you're now suddenly responsible for everything, every expense that you incur in his presence, right? There's normal decor and politeness and manners, which often Ukrainian girls don't have, it's true. But in this case, even in Ukrainian normal etiquette, you don't start ordering, a second dinner without asking the guy who invited you, because he has to pay the bill. It's so disrespectful. And you see here their reaction. Their reaction is like, my friend or you in that similar situation, you should just suck it up, take out your card and pay for it, because that's what you are there for. And this is very, very disconcerting, because these women owe a fiduciary, they have a fiduciary relationship with their clients, right? So they are supposed to look out for the best interests of their clients, who match my friend in this case, right? They've gone out on a date. Imagine this happened with one of the women that they set a client up with. Are they going to react the same way? She invited her friends, and they went to a second restaurant and just used him for money, for free food?
It was something that he wanted to do.
Probably he realized that there won't be a threesome.
Maybe.
Yeah, and then the dumb joke about the threesome, as if that's the reason why he left when he was getting scammed. Again, they think it's funny. They think it's a big joke. Of course the guy should get paid and get suckered, the Western guy, when he comes. Yeah, that's what they're there for. And that is what really got me when I watched this video. Really, I found it very, very, very disappointing. So that's it from me from this video. I've given you guys 5 reasons having talked to my friends who are foreigners or from different countries like Italy, Turkey, US, Britain, about why you should never date a Ukrainian girl. It's not always like in my video from Odessa where I showed you, beautiful weather, a great city, super hot chicks.
Well, maybe he's dating chicks and not ladies, so that's a problem.
Oof. So another curious thing that I find about marriage agency and dating sites and matchmaking services that are marketing themselves towards foreign men who want to meet beautiful Ukrainian women in cities like Odessa on the shores of the Black Sea is the fact that they always use the word lady to describe the women that they're trying to pitch to their clients. Now, of course, lady is a general word in English, but it's for me, a curious word to be using because we don't use it that often. We use it in terms of special contexts in English, like to be a lady is usually kind of a little bit more refined, maybe.
Ladies use guys. Ukrainian ladies, serious Ukrainian ladies.
And obviously the equivalent on the male side is gentleman.
Gentlemen and ladies.
A real gentleman.
And yes, it's in Ukrainian traditions when the lady goes out with a gentleman, with Ukrainian or with a foreign, the gentleman foots the bill.
I don't know any of such ladies.
Now just think back where these words were really commonplace. That would have been probably 100 years ago, I'm guessing, maybe longer, when it was very chivalrous. Women had no access to education, make money or anything like that. And what was the natural consequence of that? Men were 100% the providers for the family, the main breadwinner. And I know that's part of the marketing is traditional values, but basically they're using this word lady in this very antiquated sense when, let's be frank about it, you will be taking out your credit card to pay for things and to sponsor your lady.
It's very strange. Usually guys contact us and say that they are really, they don't like that politics of feminism, they don't want to compete with women, but at the same time they come to Slavic countries because women are more traditional here, yeah?
Right, let me just stop it there. The number one reason why Western men, at least, come to Eastern Europe hoping to meet beautiful women is that reason, because they're more beautiful. I know all the marketing for these marriages is always about traditional values, and to a certain extent, radical feminism. I talk about this obviously in one of my podcasts, so again, up and below, as always, if you want to go and watch those if you've missed it. But yes, that is a factor, but that's not the number one factor. If that was the number one factor, Western men will be running around North Africa or the Middle East looking for women, and their men wouldn't be coming to Eastern Europe either. It was all about traditional values. Believe me, women in the Middle East, Muslim women in the Middle East, they're super traditional, but they're also not sexually liberal, and on average, although I do like Lebanese women, I did talk about that in one video, where it is of course more liberal in Lebanon than the rest of the region, they're not as beautiful on average. This is the reason the guys are here. And she's trying to put it about Western feminism, and here that just doesn't gel. This is not the reason why Western men come. It's not, if the women were ugly in Eastern Europe compared to Western European women, believe me, there wouldn't be so many guys coming and running around looking for women in Eastern Europe. This is the number one reason, not this stuff about traditional values. So, yeah.
I don't claim anything. Maybe they are like nice people, but if the girl is dancing half naked or if she posts half naked photos, it doesn't mean that she is like a wife material. So that's sad.
Very interesting that they continuously slut shame this. Actually, I found a clip in her video where she shows quite a lot of cleavage. This one, I'm not going to start slut shaming, but interesting, a little bit of hypocrisy maybe. Yeah.
Don't try to date people from such trashy dating sites, or don't go to nightclubs where she is wearing like her smile and a mini dress and that's all.
They're all very anti girls you would meet in nightclubs or bars, but a lot of them, they organize what are called socials, which are basically parties for their clients that are exactly like nightclubs and bars. They're basically a banquet hall, a nightclub or a bar. It has music and dancing, it has alcohol, it has basically everything a bar or a club would have, except admittance is reserved just for their clients, and they invite a huge number of women to them, all right? And they charge a huge entrance fee to the guys who go on. So I can actually see where the value might be in this for certain guys who basically don't want to work on themselves and they're normally very successful in nightclubs or bars. Otherwise, you just go to a nightclub or bar. And actually, the ratio of being 10 to 1 is actually good if all the women are actually genuinely there to meet someone, which of course we can't really vouch for, but we'll just leave that out for the moment. So that's actually what the appeal to certain guys on is basically like, listen, you're basically suck and you can't go to a bar and club and actually get attention from women in your hometown, but come here, we will rig everything so that you have this experience, like kind of nightclub experience where girls want to talk to you and they're actually going to be interested in you. Now, that's one way to do things. I'm not saying that's a scam or anything, just wouldn't it be better to work on yourself and actually become the guy who can go to the nightclub or bar or club or any sort of social situation and actually have women genuinely interested in you rather than have to create this artificial environment where the girls are supposed to like you. And also, isn't it very interesting that unless you're paying for their nightclub or bar, you don't find good girls in nightclubs and bars?
Of course, ladies that go out to clubs and hang out there till 3 a.m. would be quite different from the ladies that we attract to our exclusive matchmaking base or ladies that do not do clubbing.
You know, just be skeptical about why they're against nightclubs and bars. They're competition because nightclubs and bars obviously corral women, beautiful women, the top women, often into these places where there's alcohol and fun and music. And they tell you, no, you're not going to meet them there. But, you know, you pay us the big bucks, which basically is about the same as paying for a table in a normal nightclub, normally from what I've seen in pricing. You can come to a social, which is basically another name for a private party at a nightclub or bar. So one thing that you really have to realize about Ukraine and dating is that it's absolutely massive business. An industry insider actually told me that Russia and Ukraine combined as a dating market marketed towards foreigners is actually a $1 billion per year industry. So basically that's why they have all these structures, the disingenuous agencies basically set up to milk you along the way as much as possible. You have to realize that if you're paying for stuff like communication and all these expensive, relatively expensive for Ukraine, services like sending flowers and gifts, and of course they've already set you up, as I explained earlier in the video, with all this chivalry and ladies and gentlemen, and you're the white knight coming with all your credit card, and they're the ones who are going to take advantage of that. So just be very cognizant of just how big a business it is in this region, and Ukraine is one of the ones who are marketed the most. Now, contrast that to what I explained in a recent episode of my vodcast with neighboring Belarus, where the situation is very different, where there's a very strict rule of law, and you basically cannot really get away with being a scammer. Yeah, just be very, very careful if you decide to come to a marriage agency in Ukraine, that you do understand how everything's structured. And what would typically happen if a normal non-insider Western European were to come up? Like, how much success?
Yeah, I mean, we were in Odessa this summer, just to give an example, and basically the Western Europeans, also from the Middle East or Turkey, I saw even, and it was clear the girls there were so, I would not call them professional, but very smart in deceiving those poor guys who had no knowledge of the way of their thinking, and actually took advantage of their wallets and then made them pay for clubs and food and drinks they did not order, and the bill was higher, and basically scammed them. And that was not pretty successful, asking me. Yeah.
And how does that differ to our experiences?
As I said, I'm with the insider, so it's not going to happen. Very simple.
So there you go. That's my video about why you should never ever use a marriage matchmaking or dating service in Ukraine. If you are really determined though to go and use one of those services in spite of all my warnings in this video, then definitely go and check out the links below to the couple of matchmaking services that appear to be genuine, that I have done some collaborations with in the past. Go check out their, I have some content also with them, some other videos, so you can go and at least learn from that. Now, if you are looking for something very different, which ironically in the last year has actually led to a lot of success. Two of my clients who've lived the Zara experience are actually getting married, which is actually left me really shocked because that wasn't this explicit purpose of coming and living the Zara experience. That was always a possibility, of course. As you know, if you're a regular viewer of this channel, I do not provide any matchmaking, dating, or marriage service explicitly. What I provide with my clients is just an unforgettable experience here in the east of Europe, whether that happens to be in Russia, Ukraine, or Belarus. If you are interested and you believe that you are worthy of living the Zara experience, because it's not for everybody, it's not a good fit. If you're not interested in investing the time and money into developing yourself and actually pushing yourself to really be worthy of dating beautiful women in this region, and you're not completely crazily unrealistic about what is possible, I'm obviously going to help you a lot, but I can't make miracles happen if you're not the right fit. If you're not actually coachable, you have to be open to actually developing yourself. If you are that kind of person, then I have an application form that you can click on below in the description to this video. Go to that, fill out the questions, and if I think, having reviewed it, that you're a potentially good fit to work with me, then we'll be jumping on a short strategy call together to see if we can work out the technicalities of where and when we would meet. Could be here in Odessa, Mama. Not at this time of year, to be clear. Odessa is not a winter city. I don't recommend coming here in winter, but in summer it is a phenomenal place to come to. We'll probably be hitting another city if it's in the next few months together. Equally, if you popped in this video, you've watched it because you were maybe a lot younger, also thinking of a dating service, see that they've now started to market themselves a little bit to the younger demographic. They seem to be pushing the things that are a little bit like pickup artistry, which is kind of hilarious for me because that's not really what most of them seem to be suitable for. But if you pop in that and you've been on this video, you've come across it and you've been considering because you find yourself in that category, like you need a lot of maybe help with coaching on your confidence, you're not maybe in the older category, you know, trying to find a wife because you feel like your biological clock, in a certain sense, it's obviously more relevant for women, but also for men, feel like you're getting older. But if you're in that younger category, then also Zara experience is not going to be for you because, quite frankly, I want guys who have a certain level of confidence with women. I have helped, you know, some of my initial clients with that, but it's really not where I think I can give the best value, and it's not really what I want to do myself. There are other guys normally, or women on the internet, who can help you with maybe basic confidence coaching, how to approach women, how to build up yourself and actually be able to engage with women, be normal with them, and actually then push on and be able to project yourself. I think that's probably best for you to do first before you apply for something like the Zara experience, because it's really kind of like, I guess, then the last level, step you're going to have to take in terms of developing yourself to actually be really successful here in Eastern Europe with women. But it's actually not just that. It's just like you're going to come here and have a phenomenal experience. But if you don't, for example, feel very confident, fit in well in nightclubs, whatever category you fall into, then, or when you go out and socialize, you're just a bit awkward and a bit out of place, then it's not really going to be for you. You need to work on other things in your life first before you can get that level, and then you can apply to live the Zara experience. Anyways, I've been rambling on. Do svidania, do pobачення from Odessa, Mama. Ciao.
Zara experience.
Conor client, please feel free to make a review on this video of us reviewing your video.
You should be careful what you wish for in life.